Daddy, who's gonna watch your movie?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm broadcasting from my iPad this evening, so this evening we're doing the Christian perspective on recovery, and with Megan C, and she's invited a guest, Christopher, who I'm going to bring on shortly. I just want to quickly go through the intros. So we're broadcasting on the MyRehab Helper Facebook page, the ARC, or the MyRehab Facebook page. Sorry, the MyRehab Helper Facebook profile, and the Duly Diagnosed YouTube channel. Those are the public channels. We're going to be broadcasting on those channels for between 15 and 20 minutes, depending. And then we're going to move over to the MyRehab Cafe, which is a private and unsearchable Facebook group. If you guys want to participate, the link is in the comments. I have posted the link on all of the public and the private channels. Yeah, you can hop on and ask any questions or participate. If you want a higher degree of anonymity or confidentiality and you're in the MyRehab Cafe group, please wait until we switch over to that channel, and then you can hop on. And yeah, if you want to know more, so the MyRehab Cafe is free to any person that's been in an ARC or MyRehab inpatient program. If you haven't been through an inpatient program and you want to participate in the MyRehab Cafe, please go to www.myrehabcafe.com or myrehabcafe.com or myrehabcafe.co.za, and you can find out more there on how to join the group. So with that, I'm going to add Megan. Hi, Megan and Christopher.
Hello, everybody. Thanks,
How are you guys? Good.
How's it?
Okay,
good.
so cool. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I said it today in my homework group. I'm going to say it again. It's such an honor and a privilege to end off a week with you guys in this community. Just getting together in connection and just talking and sharing and really just having this platform of support. And so I hope that for anyone that's watching, you can jump on or you can leave comments, and Chris or myself or Ryan will do whatever we can to answer those questions for you. And yeah, if you want to jump on and just share wisdom, do that too. So this is a place for anyone and everyone to come and share and join in the community. So thanks for tuning in. So Chris, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and why you're joining us tonight. Besides the fact that I invited you, like, what's your motivation? What's your motivation for coming onto a group that's got the whole Christian perspective connection to it?
Well, first off, hi everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to join you. I'm very humbled by the experience and the invite, and quite excited as well. I think from my side, what brought me on to say yes and absolutely for sure I'll be there like a bear is just it's nothing too profound. It's just something simple. In the seed I've received, I will sow. Just want to share some of the light that's been given to me. Coming from a dark place, there's a lot of light these days. And it all comes from Christ and what He's been able to give to me, and I just hope to share some of that too. Do whatever good we can. I think the world needs more of it, right? Whether in small doses or large, at least there's something. Yeah, Jesus changed my life, and it's actually really cool to be to talk about him and just share that message, share that word, share that testimony. I mean, there was a time where it felt almost slightly taboo, even for me in my own belief, to mention the name Jesus. But that's what it's all about, and it's really incredible. So here I am, recovering addict um, from hardcore illicit drugs. And I was just on a group now with some other guys that I'm also active with, and together there's about almost 30,000 clean days, and I managed to add my own little 4,336, I think it was, into the tally, which is absolutely wonderful. And it's it's a step-by-step, day-by-day process that God carries me through every single one. Like even one of the tones of my current, what would you call it, season of life is to just take that next step. You know, the word is a lamp unto my feet. And so with each step that I take with what He's revealed, and the rest will unfold in faith. And so that's kind of why I'm here. It's just to live out the breath of life. Cool.
That's so awesome. Thanks, Chris. So can I ask you, just that statement of the seed that I sow. What does that kind of mean for you in relation to what we're doing here?
Well, once upon a time, I was a very dodgy drug addict and highly confused, riddled with denial. It almost sounds exaggerated, but it's extremely broken within myself, within my belief system. All of the confidence I thought I had was smoke and mirrors, and I was on a one-way path, just absolute destruction. I don't think if the people didn't step in who did at the time, there wouldn't be me to sit here today. And there's a lot of people who put a lot of time and effort and energy into me and my recovery to help me along, and it just don't feel right to keep that all to myself. And so the seed that I've received from them, so many good people who managed to put love into my life, I just like to sort of sow that seed into someone else's, wherever it may go, and hopefully it lands on the fertile soil. If not, it's cool. We're still sowing and we keep sowing. That's how we keep going.
Yeah. I had a pretty similar experience myself. But for me it was I always knew God, and I always knew, like, the concept, if you want to call it that. But I can't say that I had a personal encounter until pretty far into my treatment. When I went into treatment, and I think it's a really deep, long story, how that comes about, and I guess it's different for everybody. But something that I want to share that really helped me was journeying, or being supported by others. So I was, like I said, I understood the concept, and I would see it happening, and then I was like, okay. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago to one of the guys that tuned in. Was I used to look at what was happening to others. Like, for example, just across the room there, somebody was talking in tongues or whatever, and I was like, okay, that's not happening to me. So I'm obviously then not like special enough or chosen enough or whatever you want to call it. But the more I started, looking inwards, to my heart, and to basically being open to receive, I think that the more it started happening for me, and it would have been a very tough journey without community and connection with others.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know what you think of that. So, like, when we talk about this Christian journey, I think a lot of people may ask, what does that actually mean? What does this whole Christian journey mean? what is, and that's why we call this the Christian perspective, because it's very interesting to have these kind of conversations and to share what's happened in our lives, to share that with others, and to sometimes share how it went for us, so that we can, kind of like you say, impart that onto others. But I know that for me, a big part of it was connection and community, with others on the same kind of journey, teaching me along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And teaching in truth as well, right?
Yeah.
And the difference is like when I think growing up
There's that word.
in
What
truth,
word?
what?
So,
Me
okay.
growing up. Wait, where are we going?
I know
The
Ryan
wrong
wants to.
ticket.
I know Ryan wants to jump in. Jump in, Ryan.
Go for
No.
Okay. Okay,
it.
continue,
Save it
Chris.
for later.
Yeah,
It's
we're
cool.
gonna talk about it
Anytime.
in the cafe. We're gonna talk about it in the
Anytime.
cafe.
For me, what I was thinking about, like what you mentioned now, even when I was growing up and even when I was in my addiction, I thought I was a Christian or at least a God believer.
Mm,
And oddly enough, I still remember times when I used to step into church, the more sort of denominational style church. I didn't actually know who Jesus was.
mm,
And if I'm like totally honest, I used to ask myself, oh, why is everyone praying to Jesus? Just pray to God, you know what I mean? So there was a great sense of lack in terms of my understanding and comprehension of who Christ really was and how he fits into this whole situation, right?
mm,
And then, I guess hard, I don't like to use the word, but I guess I was more familiar with the religion than I was with the relationship, like you said. And then in the beginning of my recovery, that's where I encountered people who truly did their absolute best to live out the scriptural principles, which is
mm,
where, I mean, shared to me and taught to me within truth. At first in my journey before I knew Christ, I was the one who was absolute, and everything I perceived was what I like to call my truth. And now I guess that the biggest change within me is that the truth is within the word, and the word is Christ, and through that I am revealed. You know what I mean? That's
mm,
that's the big difference for me, the paradox of my relationship. And it's what I found was the great journey of both recovery and becoming a Christian is that from the word, as the mirror, I can get to see who I am, not who I think I am or who I want to be or what other people might say of me, but who I really am according to my behaviors and what I was
mm,
doing, because those are fruits of my beliefs, right? Then to find out who God is and try to walk that path between the two. And that's the journey. And like even now, like we were talking about people speaking in tongues, and that's not happening to me. For me in
mm,
the beginning, all of the gifts per se, the gifts of the Holy Spirit were not very much in the foreground of my mind. I wasn't paying too much attention to them. But now, 10 years down the line, those gifts thing became very big. Or I came across them in a very big way where it derailed me quite a bit with the misuse and whatnot. But that giver is really where, for me, the true power is in, and that's
mm,
within Christ. That's within His truth. That's within His love. That's within the sanctification, the salvation, man, everything that He did. And then to know, like, just to tie back some of the parallels, like in Genesis, you get Adam and Eve. They munched a dodgy apple because of that snake, and then they went and ran away and tried to hide themselves with some fig leaves, right? And where I'm standing, some fig leaves are my denial, my manipulation, my deception, my um, lies, all of the bad stuff I use to sort of cover up my brokenness, right? And then
mm,
God says, okay, cool. What He did is He slayed that lamb to cover them of their sin, right? so that they could try and commune back with God again. And then all the way down the line, you get Jesus, the Lamb who was slain so that his blood could cover all of our sins. So once again, we can have relationship with God. It's like it's the same story over thousands of years. So it's not made up, I guess, is kind of the revelation that that was the pin drop for me. There's so many profound parallels that are just intertwined, speaking the same story, the same truth from beginning to end. And it's been such a massive journey for me. Yeah.
And an ongoing journey, hey? An ongoing journey,
Ongoing.
every day. You know, and so the reason I brought that whole thing up was because I think I was really hard on myself, and I was really judging myself according to what I thought. And this is one of those cognitive distortions, like the shoulds. So I thought it should look a certain way because that's how it's looking for others. And I judged myself so heavily on that. And I realized I was stunting my own journey that I could have been going on with Christ by looking again externally and not internally, right? And so this journey that you're speaking of is something I, you know, like I started to encounter when I looked more into that personal relationship instead of like what it should look like, you know, if that makes sense. But you know, like I'm saying, you know, an ongoing journey. So, you know, I think that I don't know, this is all just like my experience and my opinions and all of that, but you know, my experience. Like I think there's, you know, once we have this encounter and we're on this journey, it's ongoing. It doesn't, and this is what I discussed last week. For me, it's not to say that like life has become any easier. It's just to say that I would rather do it with Jesus than without Jesus, right? So I don't know, like for you who, you know, who experiences, you know, challenges, whatever they may be, how do you like incorporate this into your life on a daily basis, especially when it comes to, you know, for the context here, like recovery related stuff. And obviously, okay, let's rephrase that, like this journey of self-discovery. That's what we like to talk about. Like Ryan and I, we often talk about it being this journey of self-discovery. So it's an ongoing journey, and it's an everyday practice. And so some days it's hard. Hey, like some days I'm so riddled, for example, with anxiety or fear, because fear is a big one for like a lot of us. And it's like,
yeah, for me
sometimes
too.
I have to, you know, it's this conscious thing of, and I'm not using this like I said last week in the term of like the whole 12 steps. I'm just using this in the context of this, is to surrender this over and over and over again, because like in my personal journey, like anxiety and fear has got a huge potential to overwhelm me, and I have to consciously you know, surrender that and entrust that and have faith in that and give it away. And that's challenging. Hey, I mean, that's challenging. But again, I have learned through experience that I would rather do it with Jesus than without Jesus. I don't know, what do you think? Hey,
Megan, before we do that, I want to move over to the
Cool.
MyRehab Cafe.
Cool.
If you guys could just mute your mics for a second.
Okay.
So just to everybody that's been watching on the public channels, thank you guys for tuning in. I think the conversation is going to start getting interesting now that we're moving over to the MyRehab Cafe. It always does. So if you guys want to learn more about how to join the MyRehab Cafe, again, go to www.myrehabcafe.com or .co.za or myrehab.com. You can find out some more information on how to do that there. So with that, I'm going to kill the feet to the public channels, and thank you again to the guys on the public channels. Cheers.